how would I say that the CPP they were impactful in the sense that they kind of brought together various segments of Ghana, like Ghana society, whether it was the farmers, the workers, the traditional leaders. The CPP kind of garnered the support. One of like an example, if you were to use,
If we were
sorry,
to
my
use.
mother. One of the prime examples was like the support that they got from like the cocoa farmers. I don't really know like the fine details, but I heard that they kind of advocated for their rights, and that brought their support, like the cocoa farmers. And in 1947, those same cocoa farmers, they did a cocoa hold up where basically the farmers kind of withdrew their produce, which
Mm-hmm.
was one of the crucial export for the colony. So that in its sense highlighted like the unity and the determination of like the Ghanas, like the people and everything. So that was one of the things that they did, as well as they kind of linking to that, I heard that they also like got the trade union support because
Mm-hmm.
they um they were basically advocating for the workers' rights and everything, and seeing that the workers again linking back to like a support base, and the party formed alliances with these trade unions, which
Oh.
again resulted in strikes. And at one point, the I think it was the railway workers, they I don't know if it was a protest or a strike, where basically I think it was for like the day
Mm-hmm.
the transport systems were out of use. So I
Oh.
guess that's another thing that they did. So they got a diverse support base, as well as they kind of rallied for like the strikes and stuff and the protests.
All right, wonderful. So the contributions of the CPP, that's a wonderful explanation, all right? So Ghana's independence was one of the major contributions of the CPP, right? Because remember, it's a political party leading up to Ghana's independence, right? So the CPP would have played a crucial role in the struggle for Ghana's independence from British colonial rule, as we know, through mass mobilization, grassroots organizing, and civil disobedience, if you should remember that. Right, so Ghana, through the CPP, Ghana usually got their independence in what year? In which year?
Is it on the screen?
No. Is it? No, I don't think so. Why would it be on the screen? When did Ghana get their independence? In
1957.
in 1957. All right, wonderful. And this would have sparked flames across the west coast, across West Africa, right? For different countries, just it would have. It's the same thing like how Haiti sparked, other revolts across the Caribbean and the Western world, right? Ghana's independence sparked, revolutionary movements, right, within West African and other African countries on a whole, right? Remember the Pan-Africanism and the Caribbean unity. So remember the CPP was led by Nkrumah and founded by the Nkrumah, as we stated before, right? And it championed Pan-Africanism and some parts of Nkrumahism, which is a mixture of the Pan-Africanism, African nationalism, and socialism, right? So we could speak about that as well. Remember the development of this program. So you were speaking about before the strikes and different things I put in place, but I want you to note the programs as well. So the party would have pursued some agendas within industrialization, and we know that we focus on agriculture, manufacturing, and infrastructure development. So the strike that happened with the railroad, right, that would be a part of the movements, right, to improve infrastructure development within the nation, right? So first, he had to couple with the trade unions to make sure that working conditions were fine in order to improve, right, the infrastructure, right. He also expanded education and healthcare services through the CCP, energy projects, right, and networks, transportation networks, right. So remember that as well, improving like the standard of life, right, or standard of living for the Ghanaians, right. What else could we note? Social reform and welfare policies. I think they instituted some of those stuff, right? Agrarian reforms and rural reforms and stuff like that to uplift rural communities, right, and help to support small scale farmers. So these things that help to garner support for the CCP, right? And the non-aligned movement, leadership in the non-aligned movement, right? Remember what that was about? The non-aligned movement, the NAM. It sought to promote neutrality and independence from the Cold War powers. Right, remember that the Cold War was happening, right, between the US and Russia. Right? So it's either a capitalist or a communist or something like that, right? So he was basically saying that, oh, he's going to join the NAM, he's not going to be aligned with all of that. So he dissociates himself from all of that. So he advocated for a strong stance against imperialism and neocolonialism, right? And he became a strong voice within the non-alignment movement, right? And the movement's direction, right? So could you remember all of these things? So the contribution of the CCP would have probably it probably expands among like a far outside of these points that I just stated here, right? But yeah, but Pan Africanism specifically, we have to note that it played a crucial role in shaping post-independence Ghana and influencing the trajectory of the African continent on a whole. Pan Africanism was a huge part of the CPP, right? So we should note that. Everyone's fine with that? A little explanation of the
Yeah.
CPP. Okay.